All right, so now I'm ready to start making some of my sourdough. And I'm going to start by pulling some of my active starter. This is a whole wheat starter, but that doesn't really matter for the recipe. And I'm going to turn on my scale. And actually, I'm going to put it directly into the bowl right now since I already have that ready. And in this bowl right now is 30 grams of molasses. And this is blackstrap molasses, but doesn't really matter. Oh, zero the scale. And we're looking for 80 grams of starter, active starter. And if you use a wet spoon, I forgot to do that, but if you use a wet spoon, it's much easier to get the starter off of the spoon. It's much easier. So here I'm at 35 grams. $60. And this is not real critical. We want to get it into the ballpark. If you use a little bit more, it'll be a little bit more wet, but that's, all right, there it is. 82 grams. That's fine. All right. So now I'm going to put 390 grams of fresh water. You want to use dechlorinated. So either use distilled or water that has been sitting out at room temperature for a while. What I'm going to do then, I want to break the big clumps. So I'm going to use the spoon, just kind of break it up a little bit, so that we don't get too much starter all in one spot. And I'm done with the scale now. I've pre-measured all of my ingredients, so I'm finished with that. So now, we've broken up the big clumps. So now I'm going to add 10 grams of salt. Helps it dissolve if you put it directly in. And I've got 20 grams of flax that I'm just going to go ahead and grind. Or you can use pre-ground. I just like it because it's fresher and not quite as crushed up as if you were to buy ground flax. This adds a little bit of an extra crunch to the bread, and flax is very healthy. And I'll take that, dump it in. Okay, now I've got my flour, and this is 300 grams of whole wheat flour and 200 grams of bread flour. And I'm just going to dump that in. And this is King Arthur flour. Now, gently, don't quickly do this, but make sure you get it, scrape down the sides a little bit here. And now whole wheat flour has the bran in it still, the wheat bran, which is sharp. And as your gluten develops, if you overwork it, it will cut into the gluten structure. So we want to be gentle. You want to do it pretty quickly on the front side and then pretty gently as you go along. I'm scraping down the sides. Now I'm going to take my dough paddle, dough scraper, bowl scraper, whatever you call it. Scrape it off there. You can use your fingers for this as well. I started using this last time and it worked so well. Just start doing this. You get the stuff off the sides, stuff off the bottom. I'll eventually move directly to my hand, but this was working pretty well last time. See, I'm scraping it off the sides and folding it into the center. And I'm just about finished with this. I'll go ahead and feel the dough. Feel how slack it is. This is a 78% hydration, which is fairly moist, but the whole wheat flour soaks up a lot more moisture than regular flour. So this feels good. There's a few dry spots. Try to get rid of those a little bit. But all in all, this looks pretty good. I'm going to take the scraper and just scrape off my hand again. There we go. Now, we want to cover this and let it sit for 30 minutes to an hour. And then I will be back to show you the next step.